A protectorate of India since 1890, Sikkim was allowed to retain its distinctive identity and traditional setup of a princely order.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने सिक्किम को पूर्ण ऑर्गेनिक राज्य का दर्जा दिया है।
प्रकृति के साथ प्रेम का नाता चाहिए, प्रकृति के साथ जीने का सीखना पड़ेगा। सिक्किम ने वो उदाहरण करके दिखाया है।
In the Indian foothills of the Himalayas, in the corner bordering China, Nepal and Bhutan, a green revolution is underway.
India's first 100% organic state, Sikkim, has won the Oscar for Best Policies, conferred by the Food and Agriculture Organization.
Hi everybody, Sikkim is one of the most brilliant and yet one of the most underrated states of India. And while most people might think of it to be yet another small state of India, you will be shocked to know that Sikkim has a higher per capita net state domestic product than the economic powerhouses like Maharashtra and Gujarat. While Maharashtra stands at 1.9 lakh rupees per capita, Gujarat stands at 2.12 lakh rupees per capita, whereas Sikkim stands way ahead at 4.2 lakh rupees per capita. And from 2004 to 2012, Maharashtra's gross state domestic product has grown by 435%. Gujarat has grown by 654%, but Sikkim has grown by a staggering 1670%. And the primary reason for this outstanding growth is none other than their mastery over organic farming.
Sikkim is the second smallest state in India and the first state in the world to plough using completely ecological methods.
And our top story, Prime Minister Modi today declared Sikkim as the first organic state of the country.
Sikkim only makes up 0.01% of all agricultural land, but it has been a pioneer on a radical path.
And because of this extraordinary initiative, as of 2016, Sikkim has become the first state in the world to become a 100% organic state. And while a state like Punjab has increased its produce by 150%, Sikkim has increased its agricultural production by 250% since 2003. And today, it is one of the fastest growing organic farming hubs of the world. The question is, how did this little state of India become the organic powerhouse of the country? What was the government's strategy to bring along such a remarkable revolution in Sikkim? And lastly, what are the study materials to help you understand the extraordinary progress and the organic revolution of Sikkim? And if you love the story as much as we do, please spread the word and share this video with as many people as possible. This video is brought to you by Study IQ, but more on this at the end of the video. This is a story that dates back to 1960s India, and if you remember, this is when the government of India started the Green Revolution in India. And the mission of this revolution was to feed our fast growing population and to save the country from starvation. Because this is what India looked like back then.
India requested 10 million tons of wheat from the United States to avoid food shortages. But President Lyndon Johnson resented Mrs. Gandhi's opposition to the Vietnam War and was stingy with aid.
At that period, people were actually writing off India.
Horlog shifted his focus to the hungriest countries on the planet, especially India, where 3 million died from hunger in the 1960s.
So the government of India started importing Western technology and Western pesticides to boost its produce. And undoubtedly, this did wonders for India. If you look at this graph, you will see that the food grain production in India increased by 30% in 1967 and kept on growing as fast as our growing population for the next 50 freaking years. This is the reason why we as a country were able to prevent a majority of our population from dying of starvation. As a result, the Green Revolution goes down as one of the most remarkable achievements in India's post-independence history. But while India was celebrating this win over hunger and starvation, behind the scenes, a very dangerous problem was taking shape. As it turns out, in the race of hacking the agricultural production of our country, we overlooked one very important aspect, which was the impact of pesticides and fertilizers on our soil.
हम जिस प्रकार से केमिकल का उपयोग कर रहे हैं, केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर का उपयोग कर रहे हैं, पेस्टिसाइड्स का उपयोग कर रहे हैं, हम हमारी इस धरती माँ को तबाह कर रहे हैं.
Pesticides is one of the more controversial topics in all of this. Use of these chemicals not just impact our food chains, but also our health and the environment.
We annually shower over 5 billion pounds of pesticides across the earth. have the potential to pollute soil and water, impact wildlife, and even harm us.
Pesticides are often criticized for their harmful effects. They impact on biodiversity by killing insect pollinators, damaging soil quality, and polluting groundwater.
Long story short, the study showed that while hundreds of billions of rupees were spent on pesticides annually, only 0.1% of this applied pesticide actually interacts with its targeted weed or pest. And the remaining bulk of this pesticide contaminates both the soil and the groundwater. And this has a disastrous consequence for both the wildlife and the human populations that rely on them. In fact, a study found that the farmers who are exposed to pesticides have 70% higher risk of developing Parkinson's disease. Secondly, chemical fertilizers cause soil acidification, which then reduces the organic matter, the humus content, and alters the pH of the soil. And eventually, in the long term, they kill both the health and fertility of the soil, because of which the farmers would then need more fertilizers next time in order to acquire the same yield. So do you realize it's a very dangerous vicious cycle whereby the more fertilizers and pesticides that the farmers use, the more degradation of soil happens. This decreases both the fertility and yield of the farm, which will then require more fertilizers, and this further ruins the soil quality and contaminates the groundwater. So you see, the farmers, the soil, the groundwater and produce, all of them are at danger. And this is nothing but the perfect recipe for a catastrophe. So you know what? While all the states of India were enjoying the short-term yields at the cost of a long-term disaster, the government of Sikkim decided to do something absolutely extraordinary.
On 24th February 2003, Chief Minister Pawan Chamling made a historic declaration in the State Legislative Assembly. The Chief Minister announced for adopting organic farming and transforming Sikkim into a fully organic state.
आमदानी बढ्छ, पर्चेसिङ पावर बढ्छ, अनि हाम्रो जति उत्पादहरू छ सिक्किमको त्यो चाहिँ देश दुनियामा यसको डिमान्ड हुन्छ.
Accordingly, a resolution was passed in the State Assembly. Thus, Sikkim became the first Indian state to officially start organic movement in the country.
हम सब हिंदुस्तानी के लिए गर्व और फख्र की बात है कि सिर्फ भारत का छोटा प्रदेश सिक्किम पूर्ण जैविक राज्य बन चुका है.
In 2003, the Chief Minister of Sikkim rolled out a revolutionary policy on organic farming, and they took up an over-ambitious target of becoming a 100% organic state within the next 2 decades. So the question is, how on earth did this little state of Sikkim achieve this extraordinary target, and what was the government strategy behind it? Well, this strategy is divided into 3 discrete stages. The first stage involved raising awareness among farmers and the general public about the benefits of organic farming. But you know what, guys? When a farmer transitions from conventional method of farming to organic farming, the yield of the farm drops down by 20 to 50%. And moreover, it takes 3 years for a piece of land to completely transition to organic. So the question over here is, how did the government convince these farmers, and why would any farmer take the risk of reducing his yield by 20 to 50%? Well, this is where, ladies and gentlemen, the economics of organic farming comes in. And we found a comprehensive study that was conducted in Andhra Pradesh, which clearly tells us the cost-benefit analysis of organic farming over conventional farming. So let's have a look at this table. This study took corn as a sample product, and here's the table to draw a comparison with both the methods of farming. In this table, there are 2 kinds of costs: variable costs and fixed costs. The variable costs were the farm expenditure on seeds, fertilizers, human labor, bullock labor, etc. And the fixed costs included rental value, interest of fixed capital on electric or diesel pump, drip, sprinkler irrigation systems, and depreciation. So let's start with variable costs. Here you can see that in organic farming, the costs such as biofertilizers, farmyard manure, human labor, and bullock labor are higher than conventional farming. But the cost of seeds and machine labor are lower in organic as compared to conventional farming. Additionally, organic farming saves costs on fertilizers, urea, and diammonium phosphate. So by calculating these and other variables, the total variable cost was 22,886 rupees for organic corn cultivation and 15,698 rupees with conventional corn cultivation. And in total, the variable costs accounted for 75.53 and 68.01% of the total cost respectively. And the fixed cost was 7,413 rupees and 5,956 rupees respectively for organic and conventional farms. And lastly, the total cost of cultivation of corn per acre came out to be 30,299 rupees with organic and 21,655 rupees with conventional farming. So now that we have our costs, let's calculate our revenue. We are using a reference of the revenue from the price paid by the Sahaja Samruddhi NGO, which is buying organic produce from the farmers in this study. So in this case, the gross returns from organic was 41,436 rupees per acre, and with conventional farming it was just 27,697 rupees. So you see, this is a massive difference of 13,739 rupees per acre. And if you look at the total profits, while organic farming earned 11,136 rupees per acre, conventional farmers only earned 4,614 rupees per acre. That's again a huge difference of 6,522 rupees per acre. So now, considering the farmland to be 500 acres, while organic farmers would earn 55,68,000 rupees in total, the conventional farmers would earn only 23,07,000 rupees in total. That's a difference of 32,61,000 rupees between organic and conventional farming. So this study revealed that in organic farming, although productivity dropped by 10.41%, the profits increased by 141.33% as compared to conventional farming. This was mainly due to the premium price that the organic foods command over conventional foods. And if you see this table, you will see that while organic corn fetched a price of 2,100 rupees per quintal, the conventional version fetched only 1,200 rupees per quintal. This is the kind of economics that the government of Sikkim explained to the farmers of Sikkim, because of which the farmers opted into the organic revolution of Sikkim. And this is where, ladies and gentlemen, the second phase of Sikkim's organic revolution came in, which were the extraordinary government policies of Sikkim. Firstly, Sikkim gradually stopped the imports of chemical fertilizers from other states in 2004, and gradually the subsidies given to farmers to buy chemical fertilizers were reduced by 10% each year. Then in 2014, the state completely banned the use of chemical fertilizers without giving a shock to the farmers' economy. And in 2018, the state government even stopped the import of inorganic fruits and vegetables from other states so that they could create a local demand for the domestic products. Then the government promoted on-farm production of manure by providing subsidies for infrastructures like composting and vermicomposting units. Thirdly, in 2003, the government introduced a policy that asked the people of the state to use dung as biofertilizers instead of chemical ones. And the produced seeds and planting materials were produced locally to ensure that everything was chemical free. On top of that, they also created bio-villages and subsidized all the necessary materials for organic farming. This is how large-scale production of compost manures and farmyard manure was done by the farmers in Sikkim. And at the same time, the import of organic manures from outside was discouraged. And then came the most critical part of all, which was land certification. Did you know that if you have an organic farm, you just cannot go and tag your products as organic in the market? There's a very rigorous process by which your land first needs to be certified as organic in order to be able to tag your products as organic in the market. And this is not a normal process at all. Under the state's law, anybody found using or storing even a bag of chemical fertilizers or pesticides can be penalized up to 1 lakh rupees or even be imprisoned for up to 3 months. On top of that, it costs 8,400 rupees per hectare to get yourself certified, which was too costly for the farmers at that time. But in Sikkim, the government of Sikkim itself decided to bear this cost and spent 66 crore rupees just on certifications. And all of this together increased the total production in Sikkim from around 200,000 metric tons in 2003 to over 700,000 metric tons in 2016. That is almost a jump of 250% in a span of just 10 years. But the question over here is, the Sikkim Organic Farming Initiative succeeded, that is fine. The organic products fetched double the price in the market, that is also fine. But from the consumer standpoint, if the farmers are selling the produce at double the price, who is going to buy these products? Because these consumers can buy the same products from the conventional farmers at half the price, isn't it? So the question over here is, how did the government of Sikkim create a market for organic products with double the prices as compared to conventional prices? Well, this is where the golden goose of Sikkim comes in, which are exports. And if you look at the business strategies of the government of Sikkim, it will blow your mind. Here, the first thing that the government did was to invest heavily on branding. And instead of all the farmers selling their products with different brand names, the government of Sikkim sold all the products under the brand name of Sikkim Organic. This way, as more and more products enter the market, the brand name of Sikkim Organic became so recognizable that even if they launched a new product in the market, the brand recall value of Sikkim Organic was so much that both the domestic and foreign traders picked it up immediately. And guess what? The government of Sikkim was paying such close attention to these products that even the packaging of these products was made to have a premium look. And it was also made sure that these products are never sold alongside cheaper items. Secondly, within the state itself, the government started Kisan Bazaar. This was a mall-like space that is maintained by the government itself and allows organic farmers to meet customers with no middlemen at all. This way, the farmers could take home full profits and do not have to pay any tax on the produce that they sold. Thirdly, in addition to local organic outlets, the government of Sikkim even established major shopping complexes in all the districts. And lastly, to take the products to the international markets, they have something called APEDA, or the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. This is a special export promotion body under the Ministry of Commerce that is specially meant to harness the potential of agri products in the foreign markets. This body was so actively involved in expanding Sikkim's market that they organized field visits of importers and invited them all the way from Middle East, Far Eastern countries, European nations, and even Australia. And they organized a buyer-seller meetup to help these traders know about the extraordinary products of Sikkim. And guess what? Due to these initiatives, the Northeast region witnessed an 85.34% growth in the export agricultural products in just the last 6 years itself. And their exports have gone up from $2.52 million in 2016-17 to $17.2 million in 2021 and 22. And the major destinations of these exports have been Bangladesh, Bhutan, Middle East, UK, and Europe. And not so surprisingly, today, the gross state domestic product of Sikkim has expanded at a CAGR of 12.66% between 2015-16 to 2020-21. The poverty rate in Sikkim has seen the steepest decline in the country and has decreased by 22% between 2004 and 2012. The GDP of Sikkim from agriculture has increased by 26% as compared to just 13% in Punjab. And most importantly, the organic farming initiative has helped uplift the livelihoods of 66,000 families in the state of Sikkim. And last and most importantly, the reason why this initiative is very, very special because with time, it creates a virtuous cycle whereby the success of this initiative leads to the avoidance of fertilizer and pesticides. This improves the soil quality and does not affect the groundwater at all. This further results into better soil health, better soil structure, better water retention, and better soil quality. And this further leads to the success of this initiative and the growth of the farmer economy. This is how the little state of Sikkim achieved an extraordinary feat of going 100% organic in just 13 years itself. And this brings us to the last part of the episode, which are the study materials to help you understand this extraordinary organic revolution of Sikkim better. But before we move on, let me thank our knowledge partner Study IQ for supporting our content. Study IQ is a leading company in providing quality education to the students preparing for UPSC Civil Services examination. It has helped make quality education reach every nook and corner of the country, and that too at an affordable price. Their courses include UPSC IAS live foundation batches in bilingual and Hindi languages, various optional courses like political science and international relation, geography, sociology, history, and also they have a crash course for prelims. The best part is that the live foundation batches have 1000 plus live classes with one-on-one mentorship to clear academic and non-academic doubts. All this with regular answer writing practice with evaluation and weekly tests to enhance your MCQ solving ability. They also provide notes, PPTs, and handmade notes for your comprehensive revision of all these subjects. Study IQ's current affairs program covers important portions of prelims and main syllabus also. So if this sounds useful to you, check the courses on the Study IQ app or website and you will be surprised by the affordable price of quality education provided by Study IQ. And you can find the link in the description. Moving on to the study materials, the first thing I'm attaching is this research paper that will help you understand this comprehensive study behind organic farming and conventional farming along with their economics. Secondly, I'm attaching all the Sikkim related sources to help you understand this government initiative better. And lastly, if you find time, please read this book called Remember the Name Sikkim. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you loved this story of Sikkim, please help us spread the word and share this video with as many people as possible. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.